Hello, and welcome to our community conversation series between Safe Harbor Sheboygan County and the Sheboygan County Victim Witness Services. My name is Vanessa, and my role at Safe Harbor is volunteer and community engagement. Our goals with this series are focused on creating a greater understanding about community agencies and the options surrounding them to victims and survivors so that they're able to create more informed decisions about how they wish to navigate these community resources. Today, I'm joined by Dion from the Sheboygan County Victim Witness Services. Dion, welcome. And could you begin by introducing yourself and speaking on what your role and responsibilities are as the Victim Witness Coordinator?
Thank you, Vanessa. Hello, my name is Dion Knopf, and I work in Victim Witness Services, which is a part of the District Attorney's Office here in Sheboygan County. Our office is located directly in the courthouse. We're on the first floor of the North Wing, and we work to support crime victims and witnesses throughout Sheboygan County. So there are 3 of us that are specialists. We all have direct services that we provide to victims and witnesses, and then we have 1 support staff in our office. And we support and work with anyone who has been victimized or hasn't been a witness in any case that comes through our office.
Wonderful.
Those duties include helping people understand what the criminal court process is all about. It includes reaching out to victims before an initial appearance takes place so they can decide whether or not they want to participate in that initial appearance. We have a very strong conference system right now, conference phone lines, so a person does not have to come to the courthouse physically to participate in court. They can actually call into the court lines, and they can make statements, they can hear all the proceedings. And that's something new, obviously, through the pandemic that we didn't have before. So we do find a lot of people are taking advantage of that. A lot of people are taking advantage of being able to call in and even just listen to the proceedings if they can't attend in person. So we help to facilitate their understanding of what we're doing with the case, their rights on the process. They can request to meet with the district attorney personally. We also help facilitate that. And then we will be the ones to provide information throughout the entire court process, whether it's what their rights are or whether or not they want to engage. And if they ask for notice of all hearings, we'll provide that throughout the entire process as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right. So what are the differences between the roles of the victim witness team and the DA?
That's a good question. So we support the district attorney's office, but we are here to solely provide advocacy to the victims. We are a part of their team. We are a part of the prosecution. We're a part of the state. But I would say our role differs in that a prosecutor has to worry about all aspects of the case, the legal areas of it, being able to make sure that the prosecution happens. We are looking at the victim's interest in that, and we're trying to coordinate so that they understand what's going to be expected of them. It's kind of the intersection of being able to prove something and making sure that the victim participates to the best of their ability in the process.
Great. Thank you for explaining that. What support are you able to offer victim survivors as they prepare for court?
We work very closely with your agency. We work with Safe Harbor. We will bring in whatever resources are needed to try and help someone, so it varies on each case. When we're talking about specifically sexual assault cases, we will work with the victims, their family members. We will have an advocate present. By state law, an advocate is able to be present during any kind of interview before trial or trial preparation, and we've been doing it even before the statute required it. So we will try to really surround and support the victim with a team approach so that we have enough resources to help that person. We used to do courtroom tours for children when we started doing this a long time ago, and we found that it's just as important for our adults to see the courtroom in advance. Sometimes we'll do meetings just to sit down and meet before the actual trial prep. It depends on the case and how much lead time we have. But if we can do a couple meetings with a person, we want to make sure that they're extremely comfortable, not only with us and the prosecutor, but knowing what to expect. And we will do that in whatever way we can.
Great. Do your services, like you had mentioned that they also support friends and family. How do you do that?
So sometimes we have, when we have a minor child, we serve the parents legally, but even though the victim may be the child, the parents have all legal rights. So we'll work with the parents directly, make sure they understand what the charges are, giving them all the court dates. We have to track down both parents. So even if a parent is not in the household, if there's still a natural parent, that parent has all of the same rights. So we will make sure that we locate both parents to the best of our ability. We'll make sure that they understand their ability to participate, appear at the court hearings if they wish to. We will accompany them to court hearings. We will, do whatever it takes to try and just help them through the process. I also have cases where I have young adults that are victims, but we're still providing courtesy services to the adult or to the parents. Even though I have an young adult victim, I feel that the parents are still in a role to support that young adult. And even though they're not legally represented or recognized as the victim, we're still going to provide services. So our office doesn't provide counseling in itself. We mostly do the information and advocacy for their needs. If I'm looking for a specific counseling need, then I refer them to you.
Great, thanks.
Or to other community agencies.
Awesome. During the court process, victim survivor might have a lot of questions. What does that communication between you and that survivor look like?
So a lot of times it depends on how much information they want from us. We send out a victim's rights information packet when a crime is first committed. If we're issuing a criminal charge, we're going to make a phone call and let them know of the initial appearance. That has to do with people who are in custody. But we'll also send out a criminal complaint and a victim's rights checklist. Sometimes we want to know what victims want from us. Like, we're going to reach out, but if a person says it's too traumatic, they don't want to be involved in the court process at this point in time, they're just not interested in knowing, then we're going to give them some space and some distance. Unless it comes to an absolute need to have them in person, like a trial, then we will have to reach out and help get them on board. But a lot of times we want to know, how much does the victim want? Some victims want to be at every court hearing. Some victims want to know about every court appearance. They want to call in, or they want to be present for everything. And that's fair, and we respect that. Then we'll keep them informed either by email, by phone call, by letter. We even have the texting capability to send a text or an email if we know their provider. So we'll try to be as flexible as possible with people. Sometimes it's Facebook. Sometimes the only thing we know is to reach that person through Messenger. But it depends on how much information they want. That will dictate how often we inform them of things going on. Sometimes we don't hear from people for a very long time, or they just don't want to live with it daily. That's okay too, and we try to respect that.
Great. All right. What does trauma-informed care look like for victim witness, especially for clients that have been through traumatic events?
I appreciate you asking. I'd like to believe that we were trauma-informed for a very long time. I think that we continue to learn and grow, but it really means meeting people where they're at. Trying not to ask. We are not interviewers, so we don't ask the questions that law enforcement's already had to, or investigators have had to. But we try to help them prepare for the things that they will have as hurdles throughout the criminal court process. So it's helping people prepare for what they're most afraid of. What are some of their hurdles? What are some of the barriers? And maybe if they've been disenfranchised through the system in the past, or they've really felt like it hasn't worked for them, what was the source of that? We're going to try and treat people with respect and try and meet them with where they are at and what their needs are to the best of our ability.
Great. All right. One more question for you today, Dion. What is one thing you would want the Sheboygan County community to know about your role with victim services, and what would that be?
I would just want people to know that if they have suffered a difficult situation, they've been a victim of a crime, they don't have to go through it alone. There are resources available. We apply community resources, safe harbor, a team approach. It's not going to be easy, but you won't have to go through it alone. And we have resources that we will use to help wrap around you or your family members so that you get the answers that you need. We also will work with you to hear what you have to say. That doesn't always mean that people are happy with the outcome. It doesn't always mean that we're successful, but we will work with people so that they can get input in the process as we go forward. And I think that's really important. Sometimes even if we can't issue on a criminal case, if we can at least sit down, meet eye to eye, and discuss what factored into that decision or what was necessary in making that decision, I think we can at least prepare the relationships and trust that will hopefully help people come to us in the future. So I think that's really important.
Great. Well, thank you again, Dion, for joining us today. We definitely appreciate your insight.
Thank you for the work that you do. It's very important to raise awareness.